Here we are once again, ladies and gentlemen, for the sensation that is sweeping the nation. It's an invitation across the nation, a chance for the boys to meet. So every guy, grab your girl everywhere around the world. They'll be swinging, swaying, records playing. They'll be dancing in the street. Here at Musical Hangout, the only live music experience that promises useless musical trivia and funny, weird things that can happen in the heat of battle. I am Zach Hval, singer, songwriter, guitar player extraordinaire. Would appreciate you clicking the subscribe button. Would appreciate you clicking the like button. Would appreciate you following the links down below to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever, and listening to my records on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, you name it. That's where I can be heard, ladies and gentlemen. And oh boy, thank you so much to those of you that I've been, since I've no longer employed with a day job, I can pursue the arts full time. So I appreciate you guys sticking around for the instructional material, that Little Richard video, that random Tom Waits video from earlier this week. I can't wait to share with you the next video for next Monday. It's going to be a blast from the past, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. And speaking of the past, I was having a conversation with somebody on Sunday, and I was thinking about, when people say the good old days. We didn't have these problems back in my day, the good old days. And I always thought that was just a thing that boomers said, but instant conviction. As I was reading the Bible this morning, and in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 10, Solomon, who is in the biblical canon considered the wisest man alive, he says that to ask the question or to ponder the good old days, or the like, so apparently people have been asking that question for at least 2,000 years or so, a couple thousand years, but that's an unwise question to ask. And his reasoning is because it's very easy to conjure up the positive memories of the past. There's this weird nostalgia we have for the past and things like that, and he says it's unwise because there was also bad times too. It's like I think about when a boomer says the good old days, I always am. I ask, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like I was watching Gangs in New York on a Saturday, and it's like, is that what you mean? Where people didn't like the Irish and the Irish didn't like any other people? They didn't like the other Irish? Nobody liked black people. Is that what you're asking about? Or maybe they're asking about, you're referring to the Vietnam times where there was hippies spitting on, disrespecting soldiers that, they didn't want to be in Vietnam. We should be glad that they're coming back. This is what you wanted, or, Watergate. Is that what you're talking about? Or, or maybe you're talking about Ronald Reagan, where the economy was prospering and things like that, but there was the AIDS epidemic, so you can't help but think, I don't know exactly where I'm going with this, but it's just like, you can't just focus on the good times, and like, we wouldn't, if the good old days were the good old days, we knew the good old days were the good old days, they wouldn't be the good old days, So I bet you for every positive memory you can think of in your past, there's at least 10 or 15 negative ones, folks. But what do we do with negative memories? We sing about them, ladies and gentlemen. What do we do to humiliate ourselves from the forces of evil that try to track us down and get us? We blow them away with the power of sweet musics, with rock musics, with blues musics. I like that blues musics, and I like that funk's musics as well. But I always just think it's funny. People are funny. Things weren't always as great as you remember them. They're not that bad. Things are really not that bad. There's a lot of groovy things happening, like Musical Hangout. Am I right, or am I right? All right, let's do some funk. Let's do a little bit of that. I've been really digging that 1974 version of Crosscut Saw by Albert King. So here we go. Because it's got a groove. Oh, I'm a crosscut saw. Well, honey, won't you drag me across your log? I'm a crosscut saw. Honey, drag me across your log. Oh, I cut your wood so easy for you. Oh, you can't help but say I saw. Well, some call me woodcutting Sam. Others call me woodcutting Bim. Last girl I cut wood for, well, she wants me back again, 'cause I'm a crosscut saw. Honey, drag me across your lawn. Well, I cut your wood so easy for you, girl. You can't help but say I saw. Here we go. Oh, pay attention now. Oh, I got a double-bladed axe that really cuts good. I'm a crosscut saw, honey, won't you bury me in the wood? I'm a crosscut saw. Honey, drag me across your log, if you know what I mean. Well, I cut your wood so easy for you. You can't help but say I saw. Oh, I'm gonna tell you about it now. Crosscut Saw by Albert King. Many people out there like to do the Roomba version from the Born Under a Bad Sign record, which he recorded in the 60s under the Stax record label, but I like to do the 1974 version because it's funky and it's good for your corns. And if you're not convinced by the end of the night that blues music and funk music is good for your corns, well, then my name ain't Zach Hval. I've been trying out this new tune, trying to figure it out, see what I can't learn. A tune called Funk Squatch. It's a funky, saucy little number about a cryptid. there we have it. Funk Squatch, or something like that. We're figuring it out. It's a beautiful time. Got a lot of my own jams planned out here for tonight. Sometimes we've been doing a lot of covers of blues standards. We're trying some things out. Much like the Tom Waits, I am an experimental artist. Of course, my experiments don't involve throwing rocks at brakes, car brakes, and trumpets, or Keith Richards, or anything like that, but they do involve tributes to people that I look up to musically. And one of those people that I look up to is a fellow called Roy Buchanan. So I wrote him this little jam called Roy's Groove, which you can hear, one right now, but also at a later occasion on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, or where have you, on the album I Have No Strings and I Must Play. that Roy's groove off the new album. I guess it's not so new. It's been out a couple of months. But hey, that information, that sampler, has been provided to you. You can do with that information what you will. Now it's time to get back into the archives. Do one from an old instrumental album called Waves on the Rocks. Waves on the Rocks. I wrote that one. But I low-key, high-key, middle-key kind of ripped off Eric Johnson. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? There's nothing new under the sun. That's also in the Bible. Okie doke. Ooh. How about some blues music? We're overdue for a blues number. We've hinted at it, but we haven't quite got there. We're about to get there now. Remember how we used to do Stormy Monday? Tuesday can be just as bad. But not this Tuesday, because this Tuesday's musical hangout. On a Tuesday where I'm not here, that's gonna suck. They call it Stormy Monday. Yeah, but Tuesday's just as bad. Well, they call it Stormy Monday. Yeah, but Tuesday's just as bad. Well, Wednesday's worse, but Thursday it's all so sad. Oh, the eagle flies on Friday, yeah. And Saturday I go out to play. Oh, the eagle flies on Friday. Saturday I go out to play. Oh, Sunday I go to church. Yes, I do. And I'll kneel down to pray. Oh, I cry, Lord, have mercy on me. Oh, I cry, Lord, Lord, have mercy on me. Well, I've been searching for my baby now, and I wonder where can she be. Cried, Lord, have mercy. Oh, Lord, have mercy on me. mercy on me. Well, I've been looking for my baby. Won't you send her back to me? Stormy Monday. I felt that one in my dang corns. Have we talked about? I don't think I've told you about Stormy Monday. It was actually written by, well, I heard it from B.B. King, much like everybody else, but the Allman Brothers did it in the 70s, as well as like 1,000 bajillion other people like Festus McCorkindale and the All Night Pounders. I made that up, but you get the point. It actually originates from a fella called T-Bone Walker. Now, T-Bone Walker was a blues guitar player, a band leader, a composer. Back then, you wore many hats if you were working as a musician, as well as a songwriter. And he wrote that tune. It was originally called Stormy Monday, but Tuesday's Just As Bad, but it's colloquially known as Stormy Monday, thanks to B.B. King as well as many others. And he recorded that in 1948 for the Black and Whites, I believe is the name of the record company, the record label. Now, they primarily worked in jazz and blues records, so it's no wonder he got his start there. But his career began in the 1920s as a teenager. But it wasn't, it took him a couple years. He didn't have to hustle as hard as maybe some of his contemporaries had to before people started to take a notice. And he found his way to Chicago, where, as you know, there's a whole subgenre or category of blues called the Chicago blues, where he'd made some recordings. But yeah. Most of his output was from 1946 to 1948 on the Black and White record label. He also was under the Imperial record label, as well as a few others. You can listen to a version of the original version, I believe to be the original version of Stormy Monday, on a compilation that Capitol Records, or Imperial Records, put out in 1954. That features T-Bone Walker. I believe it's called Blues and Jazz and something else. I forget the exact title, but it is on Spotify. So that's a little bit of history about T-Bone Walker. Very influential, very innovative, as it were, especially pushing the Texas blues sound, or what we call jump blues, which is a blues that swings a little bit. Typically, to put it in musical terms, it's about 100 on a slow end on the beats per measure, getting up to 120. So things get fast. But it's good to boogie every so often. Good to boogie. My wah pedal died earlier tonight, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to do this sans wah pedal. How will I ever live? Speaking of somebody who was likely influenced by T-Bone Walker, we're going to do a little bit of that James Marshall Hendrix. house over yonder. It's where my baby stays. I said there's a red house over yonder. It's where my baby stays. I ain't been home to see my baby about a 99 and 1/2 days. Well, wait a minute, something's wrong. The key won't unlock this door. I said, wait a minute, something's wrong now, fellas. The key won't unlock this door. I got a real bad feeling that my baby don't leave me no more. We got guitars. Back over yonder, way back yonder across the hill. Oh, I said I'm going back over yonder, way back yonder across the hill. If my baby don't love me no more, well, I know that his sister will. That one always hits the spot. Right here, right here, right here. And a weird, it starts here too, but it skips this area, and then it continues here. And then, of course, in my corns. That's what happens when a guitar plays the blues, ladies and gentlemen. As we've demonstrated, no doubt. I like how I went from a somewhat up-tempo shuffle to a very slow shuffle. Now to something psychedelic. Oh, it is going to cooperate. Okay. With the wah pedal. Hooray. We're going to do Samantha's Lullaby off my third album called... I almost forgot the name of my third album. How embarrassing is that? I'm not even halfway through one beer, folks. You know, and it's a weeknight, you know. Immorality doesn't pay. It's called Samantha's Lullaby, but the album it's from is called Frankie's The Legend of Frankie Bastone. Oh my goodness. I'm scared. I'm scared to play the guitar right now. Let's see what anything can happen. Sometimes, I'm blonde. I don't know what to say. See, I like these types of guitars, the Stratocaster type guitar, because there's all manner of malfeasance that you can get into with the tremolo system and things like that. So it doesn't have string trees, so I can also get into some nasty nasties up in that area. But be that as it may, these are technical terms. You're here for sweet musics. I don't do this one enough anymore. I don't know why. We're going to do a little bit of that Chris Isaak for the kids. My favorite trivia about Chris Isaak is that he was in a wonderful film called Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. This song was also used in another David Lynch film called Wild at Heart. It's a sensitive story about love, violence, and snakeskin jackets. And if you've seen the picture, you don't need to, I don't need to say anything else. If you haven't seen the picture, watch it just as soon as you're done watching this. on fire and no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do. I never thought I'd meet somebody like you. I never thought I'd lose somebody like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. What a wicked thing to do, to let me dream of you. What a wicked game to play, to make me feel this way. What a wicked thing to say, never felt this way. What a wicked thing to do, to make me dream of you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. On fire and no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do. I never thought I'd love somebody like you. I never thought I'd lose somebody like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. Nobody in love, no one. That also hit the spot. It felt pretty good. It's hard to sing that song. A singer I am not. A guitar player I have always been and was born to be. The thing about the trem system that I didn't explain, but had to figure out how to tune my guitar while singing that song, was that sometimes you reef too hard on it, and it puts your guitar in some sort of weird pan-Egyptian tuning. Not that there's anything wrong with pan-Egyptian tunings, but I have it on good faith that Chris Isaak was not writing tunes in pan-Egyptian tunings. Something tells me, call it intuition, call it decades of music experience, I don't think he was writing tunes in pan-Egyptian tuning. I might, you never know. Okie doke. Let's do some more tunes from my old instrumental album called Sounds. This one is called Desolation Angel. Borrowed that title from Jack Kerouac, the legendary beat poet. Miguel Silvas in the comment section says, Slipknot, Hangout. I don't know what we're doing. That was Desolation Angel off of my instrumental album, Sounds. I have another one out that just came out in July called I Have No Strings, and I Must Play. Well, we're coming down to the end of that beer, which means we're coming down to the end of tonight's program. But don't be sad. There's plenty of Z-Man content to go around. You can always listen to the records. You can always tune into a past live stream. They're all archived here on the internet. If you don't want to watch me play guitar, you can watch me teach guitar. I've got a whole blues guitar course I'm slowly building here for you. There's educational content talking about records, all sorts of fun stuff, and I have some cool stuff coming out next week that'll tickle your nostalgia bug. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll be here. But we're going to do a tune that I haven't released yet, mostly because every time I try to record it, somebody breaks into the room and stops the whole recording process. It's bizarre. bizarre. I'm gonna do a song about friendship and fun called Me and All My Friends, dedicated to all my friends. Me and All My Friends by myself in this room to all my friends out there on the planet Earth, on the globe. Well, that's going to do it for tonight's presentation. I hope you were boogied, dude. Of course, I have been Zach Hval, singer, songwriter, guitar player extraordinaire, reminding you never to drink and drive because you might hit a bump and spill your beer. Bread is bread, cheese is cheese, praise God. Did I ever tell you the one about the blonde housewife in the snowstorm? So, husband and wife, of course the wife is blonde, are sitting at the breakfast table one winter morning in northern Minnesota when they hear on the radio, the announcer says that they're expecting 8 to 10 inches of snow tonight, and so in order to make room for the snowplows, they're asking everybody to move their cars to the even-numbered side of the street. So the wife, being a good housewife, goes out and moves her car. And then a week later, they're at the breakfast table again, and on the radio, the announcer says, this week we're expecting about 10 to 12 inches of snow, so we need you to make room for the snowplows by moving your cars to the odd-numbered side of the street. So again, the wife, being a good wife, goes out and moves her car to the odd-numbered side of the street. A week later, they're at the breakfast table, and again, they hear the announcer on the radio say, we're expecting about this time 12 to 14 inches of snow. So in order to make room for the snowplows, we need you to, and then the power cut out. So the radio went out. And so the wife goes to her husband, and she's all upset. She says, honey, I don't know which side of the street to move the car on. And the husband says, in a respectful and loving tone, that all men who are married to blondes have. He looks her in the eye and says, honey, why don't you park the car in the garage this time? Zach Hval, we'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen.